They say real development begins at the grassroots. But is this the reality on the ground for residents? This week, we turn on the spotlight on Orile Agege Local Council Development Area, assessing whether public funds translate into tangible projects as residents lament recurring flooding that destroys property and exposes persistent infrastructural gaps. Welcome to Scorecard. I am Bernard Akede. Let's get the grade.
How do we save this country?
You move from the APC to the PDP.
Therefore, listen, I'm still paying teachers in Ondo State. If Olabode just should be expelled from the party.
It's an existential imbecility, utter nonsense.
Join me, Dapo Adeboye, on Politics HQ, where Nigeria's political heartbeat is felt. Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. on News Central.
The Executive Chairman of Orile Agege Local Council Development Area, Honorable Akinola Idowu, has presented a proposed 13.86 billion naira budget for the 2026 fiscal year to the Orile Agege Legislative House, affirming his administration's commitment to people-centered governance and sustainable grassroots development. Speaking during the presentation, Honorable Idowu said the budget goes beyond figures on paper, explaining that it is designed to address the real needs and everyday realities of residents across the LCDA. Now, under the leadership of the LCDA Chairman, Honorable Akinola Abiodun Idowu, the Council recently received about 1.968 billion naira in allocation in August 2025, shared with its parent Agege local government area. Yet residents say development has not kept pace with funding. For more than 3 decades, recurring flooding has destroyed property, displaced families, and disrupted economic activities in Isale-Odoh. They attribute the crisis to an undersized and poorly maintained canal that overflows during heavy rainfall. The central question remains, does this allocation translate into tangible projects on the ground? News Central visited Orile Agege to hear directly from the people. Listen as they share their frustration over decades of recurring flooding, poor infrastructure, and how they score their chairman. Take a listen.
Anytime rainfall like this is problem.
We have issue of flood.
Tójò bá ti dé àrísùn o, omi yẹn máa ń dé gbàyà wá báyìí, a máa sá jáde ní. Títì pàápàá kò ní ṣe é dúró.
Orile Agege is one of Lagos' oldest Awori Yoruba settlements, established between the 14th and 17th centuries, and is widely regarded as the ancestral nucleus of the larger Agege community. Founded by Awori settlers who migrated from Isale-Odoh, Orile Agege evolved into a stable agrarian community shaped by dense forest and fertile land. The community is deeply rooted in tradition, most notably through the Egungun festival, which honors ancestral spirits and preserves Awori cultural identity. Orile Agege was once sustained by cocoa farming and is today globally identified with Agege bread, a staple that has carried the town's name beyond Nigeria's borders. Now a densely populated and culturally diverse commercial hub, Orile Agege reflects the intersection of heritage and urban expansion. Beneath this growth, long-standing infrastructure challenges persist. Residents of Isale-Odoh, Isale-Odoh, Oyewole Close, Arigbanla Street in the Isale-Odoh axis face recurrent flooding whenever it rains. For over 3 decades, residents say seasonal flooding has destroyed property, displaced families, and disrupted economic activity. They attribute the situation to an undersized and poorly maintained canal that routinely overflows during heavy rainfall.
Over 3 decades now, nothing positively is coming up on the road drainage. On every year we experience flood, which I believe destroy property, and nothing has been done till date.
Anywhere tá bá wà, no rest of mind.
Àdúgbò ilé mi ti iṣẹ́ tí mo dẹ̀ ṣe ní panepita. Ṣùgbọ́n láti ìgbà tí mo ti wà ládùúgbò yìí, omi máa ń yọ wá lẹ́nu gan.
Kí wọ́n jọ torí Ọlọ́run, kán bá wa ṣèrè pọ̀jù o, àwa bẹ̀ wọ́n ní o, torí wàhálà ti pọ̀jù o, omi lónìí omi lọ́la, tá a bá rómi ń bẹ̀ à ní ìgbàlẹ̀ síbẹ̀ o.
Ẹyẹ wà àdúgbò àyè ṣe kò sí kọ́tà, kò sí ẹ̀yìn tó jù bá any small rain like this. Gbogbo bíi máa kún fómi ni. So ojú kọ́tà yẹn làwọn ẹ̀fọn wà.
The impact extends beyond homes and streets to places of worship. At the United Apostolic Church, Isale-Odoh, services are often suspended during rainfall as floodwater invades the church building.
About 3 years ago, I'm ready to go to so àdẹ̀rẹ̀ rẹ́ni tó ṣe omi dà wá láàmú níbí. Omi yẹn pọ̀ gan. Tẹ́ bá wo inú ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì gan, ẹ rí pé omi sun jáde ńbẹ̀. Gbogbo gbàlà gbọ́ mi inú ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yẹn. So omi dààmú wa. Kò sí àǹfààní kankan tí ìjọba ṣe fún wa. Ṣùgbọ́n àdẹ̀ dìbò fún wọn ní gbogbo gbà. Tí ọba ní àkókò ìbò yá, à dìbò fún wọn, wọ́n dẹ̀ wọlé. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣámà tó bá débẹ̀, àánú ó máa ṣe títì tó máa fi kúrò ńbẹ̀ kò ní ṣe.
With limited intervention, residents have adopted coping strategies. Some houses have been elevated by more than 8 feet, while others rely on self-funded roads repairs in an effort to mitigate flooding.
You can see some houses that has been destroyed. Like 3 times I opened my studio in this street. Flood, wipe away everything.
We have been supporting the community in everywhere we pay our tax, our lives charge. So we know that there is new local government chairman. That is in person of Akinola Idowu. That is His Excellency. We really appreciate him. But we haven't felt his impact here based on development. Though he promised us when he came to campaign that this street, Isale-Odoh Street, Alonga Street, James Fallow with Oyewale Close is going to be fixed this year. Isale-Odoh Street has a lot, especially when you talk of votes, we always come out in mass to give them the vote. We support them in everything they are doing, but we want to feel their impact. The only thing we see this year is the street light, which is Honorable Ahmed. So we have a street light now. Every night, everywhere is lit, but we still want the street to be done.
Residents are appealing to the local council development authority for urgent intervention, particularly the reconstruction and expansion of the canal identified as the primary cause of flooding. They insist that sustainable drainage infrastructure is the only long-term solution.
Our major challenge is the issue of flooding because we have a major canal that traverses this community.
We call this place Isale-Odoh because we have the canal and this place more or less a valley. So, and we have issue of flood. Once again, I want to really lay emphasis on that. We really appreciate if they can do something about the flood. So we want something to be done about it. Maybe expansion of drainage to accommodate more water. We will really appreciate it.
Amid ongoing infrastructural challenges, residents of Orile Agege review the performance of the LCDA Chairman across key sectors.
For the road, is 0/10.
Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ iléèwé nítorí pé kíni ọmọ òye wọlé ni wá Agege náà láti jáde ibẹ̀ la dàgbà sí ibẹ̀ náà bí wá sí nítorí náà mo mọ̀ pé tẹ́ẹ̀ nítorí pé ẹ máa ṣe security náà torí àkíngbàkúgbà ayé tí ó lè àwa máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ náà wò kí n jalè a dẹ̀ burú lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé nínú security náà tẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ máa gbà 100% asset yẹn mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo oògùn tí à ń fowó ra káàkiri níta gbogbo ẹ̀ kíni gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa wà níbẹ̀ ọ máa ṣe ṣẹ̀tà fún wa ní tẹ́ẹ̀ ni o.
Lórí títì lórí kọ́tà lórí healthcare in fact 2/10. Security kò sí security ọ̀kan bí security 1/10 ni.
Lórí títì mi ò tiẹ̀ rí máàkì tí mo lè fún ọ, òdo ni mo fún ọ. Kò sí security kan tó dájú, kò sí health care kan tó dájú. A ò ní ibì kan tá a lè sọ pé tí aláboyún bá fẹ́ bímọ ká sáré gbé lọ síbẹ̀, kò sí ìyẹn ń bẹ̀. Máàkì tí mo fún ọ so 0/10 náà ni, kò torí pé wọn ò ṣe kankan, wọn ò kí àdúgbò yìí rárá, wọn ò bìkítà láti tó àdúgbò yìí ṣe rárá.
Lórí ọ̀nà yìí 5/10 I try gbìyànjú. Lórí security náà fún wọn 5/10. Don't try.
I rate the new chairman according to the road construction and the project, everything at large, 0. Youth empowerment, I could not see anything yet, but I rate him like 2. I won't lie to you. Nevertheless, many people that's very close to him, they are achieving some things to close mouth. For health center in this vicinity, it is actually 0. For water in this street, 0. For security purpose, I can say like 5.
Okay, I will say 1/10. I will say 5.
Orile Agege remains a community defined by history, culture, and economic relevance. But as recurring floods expose unresolved infrastructure gaps, residents say progress must translate into tangible action. For a town built on deep roots, the future now depends on sustainable solutions.
Well, you asked for it.
And New Central has delivered. You asked for it.
And New Central has delivered.
You asked for it. And we delivered.
You asked for it.
Now you've got it.
Yes, New Central is live on GoTV Channel 23. Get the latest news and headlines from Nigeria and across the world. With GoTV, News Central gives you major stories and breaking news on politics, business, sports and entertainment at your fingertips. Welcome to fearless reporting like no other. You asked for it. And now you've got it. News Central on GoTV Channel 23.
Joining us now to take a closer look at these pressing issues in the Orile Agege Local Council Development Area, we have Oshiyemi Joshua, who is track team lead at BudgIT. Mr. Joshua Oshiyemi, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here. The compliments of the season to Ben.
And wishing you the very same. Thank you so much. Now, I'll jump straight into the questions. I believe you did see that report that was put together by News Central earlier concerning Orile Agege Local Council Development Area. Prior to that, we had spoken to the chairman of the area, and he scored himself quite impressively in his first 100 days. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said with what the residents have given him. Now, however, can we now say that because the residents have complained largely on flooding of the area, which particularly has been caused by poorly managed canal, while the chairman has scored himself, quite high, can we say that in one way or the other, this is a case of focusing on the wrong priorities in that particular LCDA?
Well, thank you so much for that question. Basically, if you listen to that interview very well, and then if you were also paying attention to my own gesture here, there was a particular lady that spoke, and then what she was saying, we know that she's a party member actually, meaning that she must be a politician. And then when she was scoring the party or the chairman prospectively. So she was not saying this is what we scored. She just saying, oh, on this we will score this, on this we will score this, which is to tell you that she's also very expectant of a lot of things to come in the local government area, And then it's just expectedly what the chairman has called himself is what you expect him to score himself, because he's at the ends of office. But the reality here is that you have a responsibility to your people. And it's also expected that year in, year out, you're making budgets for a lot of implementations to happen in your respective places. Don't also forget the fact that you have increased revenues coming into the LGAs and LCDAs respectively now. So it is just expected that the level of development in those places will be jacked up a little. From some of the things that I've gotten to hear about from Orile Agege, not so much about it. I know that they are working on certain stuffs, but I think since this is becoming quite alarming, I think this should be given more attention. I know that there's a project around Akako Street or thereabouts that they are currently embarking on. They have even awarded it to a contractor, and they promised to execute that within 6 months. So that's a good one. And I saw the picture of that environment as well. How about
other local governments where it's possible that autonomy is not absolute for them? You know, what are the odds for these local government chairmen?
It's not right for the state to hold on to the resources of the local government, you know, by and large. But the truth of the matter also is that we must also try to be as careful as possible when it comes to the issue of financial autonomy for the local government area. How transparent are they with their budgets? Thankfully, this local government area, Orile Agege, have told us that their own budget for 2026 fiscal year is going to be 13.86 billion. Impressive, 47% capex, 53% recurrent. Excellent. So the local government also must try as much as possible to brazen up, you know, to be sure that they are really ready for the task ahead of them and in their hands. You know, they must show competence that they are really able to do what has been placed in their hands. Because over time, what you have found out is that most of these state governors believes that some of these LJ chairmen are just stooges, you know, and they will not be able to take maybe certain decisions on their own. Other times, the governors also fear that they might build another behemoth, you know, who wish the governors really had themselves, you know. So it's going to be nice that those resources can be released to them so that we all as Nigerians can directly hold them accountable to whatever it is that they are expected to do. You know, for their people.
All right, I'd like to quickly, you know, one last question just before you leave. Very quickly, has there been any, and that's for your organization now, has there been any tracking of projects, whether ongoing or finished, in that particular local government? And if there has been, what's your assessment? Agege? Yes.
I heard Prophet Fetoyi saying that there's no health center in Orile Agege. That's absolutely not true. If you are saying that they are not operating optimally, you may be right. I never can tell. But off the top of my head, I know that we have about 3 of them. You know, we have one, Shoretire PHC, which had the budgetary allocation in the 2022 federal government budget.
Okay, I think the prophet was not saying that there are no you know, primary health centers. I think he was.
Maybe that's what I heard.
Yeah, I think he was saying that maybe in his area, or that the ones available are not functioning optimally. You know, thereabout.
In that particular area, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. But of a truth, I said for this Akako Street that I want to jump on in this 2026. No.
As I let you go, what's your own? Would I say, what's your own score? What score would you give local government chairman in terms of performance? Put that side by side what you saw in that report based on what the people scored him.
That's abysmal to me, you know. If everybody's coming up to say that this is not it, this is not, even your party person saying, oh, we're hoping that this is going to happen, that's to tell you that you are not doing well enough. But we must also bear in mind that this person has just spent about 5 months in office. So the whole blame should not absolutely come upon him. You know, we can, as much as we can try to encourage him to do what is right.
Okay.
You know, and I have quite a number of things penned down for maybe that he can do, tighten up their resource mobilization stuff. He should also do a lot of what's it called now? Digital presence. It's also very fine. They are doing that, but they can do more. There's nothing stopping Agege from having its own websites, and then they must be transparent as possible.
Okay, thank you so much, Oshiemi Joshua. I'm sorry, we would have to wrap it up here, Mr. Oshiemi Joshua, who's Tracker team lead for BudgIT. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and for giving us some insight.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Now, News Central also spoke with the executive chairman of Orile Agege Local Council Development Area, that's speaking about Honorable Akinola Abiodun Idowu, about the concerns of the people and his leadership focus during his first 100 days in office. And here's what he had to say.
My name is Honorable Idowu Akinola Abiodun, the executive chairman of Orile Agege LCDA here in Lagos State. When we came on board, we discovered many of these pupils are not having furnitures, pupils, seats or table, for them to be rightly, work in accordance with the education sector. But we discovered a lot of things through that area too. And I promised them that in my administration it will be one pupils, one chairs. And we have been embarking on that since I emerged. What we did is to promise them 6,000 seats of chairs, the pupils. And as I'm talking to you, we are to launch 4,000 out of the 6,000. So on the schools, we also note that many public schools, the structure are not that, good, say to say. So we embark on renovation of some schools. And we also promise that we need to build some classrooms, to add to this. And we are working on that on our budget. That is on education. We have, bought 300 GCE within the 100 days of office. And on skills training, we also embark on that, where we have almost 2 to 250 of them trained just within the space of 3 months in office. And we are planning to also empower them with just the token of 200,000 naira each. And on infrastructural development, we came on board. As you can see in my local government, we have road network that can be able to access you through your navigation, which that's to say that the past administration has been working on road infrastructural development. On security, engage our people by putting things into consideration. Why? Because the security challenges that we find ourselves now needs proactive measure. So what I negotiated with them is to form a joint task force. A joint task force that can be able to bring all the security apparatus together for one goal. And what is the goal? For peace and protection of the masses' property. To me, the funding, we thank God, just let us give kudos to the President of Nigeria, because our allocation now is more than what we are getting before. If any local government is not working, I told them, let us ask our chairman, what are they doing with our funding? What are they doing with our capital, the money involved? So if any local government are not bringing something to the table, it calls for question. So there's no need to start bragging on this or to start giving accolades or nothing. But I want to thank the President of Nigeria for doing this for us, because a lot of local government are trying to achieve before. But now you can see within just the space of 3 months, 4 months, I could be able to achieve a lot. It is because there is a source from somewhere. And there's no other way that the federal government. Government, it has to do with a process. That's what people don't believe. Yes, the federal government won in courts concerning the autonomy, not that it has come to effect. It has to pass through a lot of process. The legislative process, the management process, and other processes that needs to do with that issue. But to me, I believe it will get to us very soon. It is just a matter of time. I don't want to shift blame to anywhere. But the autonomy of the local government, it is something that we need to do because they are representing the grassroots. They need not to checkmate. They need not to, to be redirected. So the chairman of any local government supposed to be the number one to add values to their community. So I just want to, urge the federal government and the president not to relent on this. We need it. Our people need it. And we believe we can do it. Before now and next year, I believe we will have the full autonomy as a local government. Yes, there is a map. There is a set goal. But there is not enough resources. That is the issue. I dream high for my people to achieve a lot. And we are still embarking on that, not just only in 4 years. We want to have a set goal of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years. So in the next 1 year, we'll be seeing a lot of things coming on board. Presently we are planning to start working in relationship with China, where we need to start bringing our younger generation for technological training and other means of training that can be able to add values to the economic growth. So 20 of them, I just want to choose from the community around the clock, 20 of them from age of 15 to 21. By the February next year, they are going to China for 3 months for training. And when they are coming, it is train the trainer. And after they are coming, a lot of them will be going for that training because we want to change the narrative. The easiest way to reach out to the public is through the media because I believe I need to be checked. I need to balance things through this administration. And I need people that can be able to give me feedback at all times. I don't want to relent on the political side of information. I still need to engage with the public so that I can be able to be well informed, so that I will be more proactive in discharging my duties to the public. So as my own administration, what I believe is to engage people. And I know I can't do it alone. So by engaging the media, they will be giving me the right information needed for the job to be well done. So that is my job, and I will continue with that till this end of this administration. I am not in best position to rate myself. It is the public that could be able to do that so that I can know my score.
Well, based on residents' rating, Orile Agege scored 30%, falling well below the 50% pass mark. For a community grappling with persistent flooding and infrastructure gaps, the verdict from the people is clear. Orile Agege Local Council Development Area does not meet up to their expectation. I'm Bernard Akede, and this is Scorecard, where every promise gets graded by citizens holding the red pen.